So take a look at these two sentences. Think about it for a moment. What are the differences between them? You might have noticed that the first comment is a demand and the second one is an observation. So in the next few slides, we're going to explore how you can support your teen in staying engaged and focused by using declarative language. This is a powerful communication tool that I started using with my clients and my own children. So this approach helps them visualize their next steps, like creating a mental movie of the task ahead, but it also encourages independence and critical thinking. So as parents, we often rely on imperative language, and I'm guilty of that also. Those are statements or questions that demand action. In other words, we want them to do it. So it might sound like, did you do your homework? Put your shoes away. Don't forget your backpack. So even when phrased as questions, these are really commands. So and while they get the job done in the moment, they don't give our kids a chance to think for themselves. We're essentially doing the mental work for them. So we become their frontal lobe, the part of the brain responsible for planning, organization, and decision-making. But if we want our kids to build those executive function skills, they need opportunities to practice. So that's where declarative language comes in. And declarative language is simply sharing what you notice or know, rather than telling your child what to do. So instead of saying, don't forget to turn in your homework, which I often have said, you might say, I wonder if there's something you need for school today. Or instead of pick up your backpack, you might try, your backpack is still by the door. Make sure you're not using a negative tone when you say that, though. So this kind of language encourages your teen to pause, reflect, and create a mental movie of what needs to happen next. That visualization helps them stay engaged, remembers the steps, and take ownership for their actions. It's a small shift from telling or to noticing, but it makes a big difference in developing independent thinkers and problem solvers. And it also creates a better relationship with your teen. So here are some ways to shift from imperative statements to something more supportive. So instead of giving direct commands, try using I statements. Like I'm noticing, I'm wondering, or I'm thinking about. For example, instead of saying empty the dishwasher, you could say, I'm noticing the dishwasher is clean. I wonder what you might need to do. So that way you're prompting them to think instead of just following directions, but like I said, be careful to keep your tone neutral. No sarcasm, which is kind of hard to do sometimes. Another great strategy is asking open-ended questions rather than ones that are simply yes or no answers. So this helps shift responsibility to them. So encouraging problem solving and independent thinking. So instead of asking, did you do your homework? Which only requires a yes or no answer. Try something like, what's your plan for finishing your homework today? Instead of, you need to get started on your work. Try, I'm noticing that getting started seems tough right now. This way, they have to think through their process. They need to take ownership of their actions and problem solve if they need to. So it shifts the responsibility to them rather than just